You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And it's here. Oh my goodness. No more preseason. Did we get a push in our preseason game?
Yes, we did. I didn't even look. I was going to look up the box score and I forgot to see how it happened. Like the game score, just to see, like, did they stop the Rams on a failed 2-point conversion or some fucking thing? Because they don't play overtime in the preseason, so we would have got a win out of that. But I'm guessing that's, well, no, 27-25 nowadays is like a missed extra point and 2 field goals or some fucking thing.
Yeah, missed extra points factor in now. We're seeing some strange numbers. But we shockingly made a profit in the preseason.
We did. Like $7.
$35 wagered, $7. That's 20% return on investment.
Yep. We did okay.
Yes.
For doing no research other than looking at coaches' records.
Yeah. And having sort of a smell of what teams were. Right?
Yes.
That does actually matter.
No, well. I know, but we don't follow, I couldn't tell you what free agents, the Giants, the Rams, the Eagles, the Falcons had.
Yeah.
We have a general idea.
But here we are, September 6th, 2016, and I think you know what time it is.
And it's only about 8 or 9 weeks till we're like, oh, these fucking podcasts twice a week killing us. We hit that wall every year. We're so excited the first 7, 8, 9 weeks. And then it's like, holy fuck, can you believe we got another 3 months of this? Because if people don't know, we both work jobs and do this as a hobby. And we're doing it it's 12:40 in the a.m. when we're starting. So it's, I guess, a labor of love. And even though we were really successful last year, it's a grind twice a week. Because we go from the preseason or the off season, we do a podcast once every 2 weeks. And then in the preseason games, we do it once a week. And then so we basically start beginning of August once a week, and then beginning of September, it's twice a week till fucking February. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, if this was my only job, no, it's not hard. Trust me. But it starts to grind on you because you still got to research and stuff during the week.
Well, when we're doing them, it's fine. It's sitting down, firing up the computer, and realizing I'm going to be a bit tired tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the part that hurts.
Well, here's the other part, is we spent an hour and a half talking before the podcast.
Yeah, well, that's just friend shit. You know?
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's we do, if we did it, we'd be done by now. But that's part of our routine, which we both like. So here we are, ready to start the 2016 season. And might I add, the Cubs only have a 16.5 game lead on the Cardinals right now. Thank you very much.
No.
It's a fun team to watch.
We will have to see.
All right, let's get into some football.
Okay. So, the season opener is the only Thursday night game that's worth considering. Just any of you out there, don't bet Thursday night games. They're usually awful football. This one is an exception because everyone's had 5 weeks to get ready for this, really.
And the starters aren't beat up.
Yeah, and they're not working on 4 days rest. That's the biggest thing right there. I don't care if it's week 2 Thursday night game. You're working on 4 days rest. It's inhuman. So, we have a rematch of the Super Bowl. The first time since, I believe, Super Bowl IV. that the participants are in the same game back-to-back. Carolina are 3-point favorites at Denver.
Do you have any interest in betting this game?
Well, I do, because I'm going to be in Vegas betting football like a fucking motherfucker. So I'm going to have probably a piece of almost everything on this board.
Well, no, but I mean us. I know you're going to bet this game just to have some interest in it, watching it. But
I don't have much unless we come up with nothing. And I'll say right now, I am favoring Carolina and the under.
You think it goes under?
Yes. It's 41.5, which is a low total these days. I mean, I remember when I started betting football, 33.5 were not uncommon totals to see. But I still think it's under. I don't entirely trust Carolina's offense against that defense. With Simeon, he's the starter. He's a 7th-round pick in his second year. I watched one preseason game. It was the local Denver announcers, and they were like, "Oh, well, Demarius should have caught that." And I'm thinking, Demarius leapt backwards 4 feet and 2 feet in the air and knocked down what was clearly a pick. It was a fucking great play by Thomas. But no, that should have been a completion for Simeon. He's not good. He sails the ball like Matt Stafford. The only guy he hit with any consistency was Emmanuel Sanders. Carolina's defense doesn't suck either.
No, they lost Norman, though.
Yeah, but
no, they're going to load the box. Anderson and Booker aren't going to run for much. Watch, it'll be the exact, but I like Carolina -3. I don't want to bet it.
No, I don't really. It's just I know I'm going to be. Well, I have to bet the game. I'm going to be sitting watching it in Vegas. I'm going to have in some kind of pattern probably $60 to $100 on this game. So.
And the only thing that scares me in this game is Denver shouldn't have won the Super Bowl with the offensive numbers they put up.
That's true, but
that's
Denver
what scares me about
lose
this game.
Trevathan inside. They've lost another defensive end, and they lost Malik Jackson, I believe, moved on.
But they're still.
It's not quite the same defense. They're still, I think, the best defense in football.
Yes.
But Carolina is probably the 5th or 6th best defense in football.
No, I know, but what scares me is that Denver didn't have to put up. If they can't figure out how to... Did the Carolina improve their offensive line much over the offseason? Because that was the weak point. It wasn't their defense. It was that Newton had no time. And if that's the case, I like your pick of the under, but I just don't know if Carolina is going to win it.
Well,
it's going to come down to... I think it's going to come down to the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter again. And it's going to be close. But if you're keeping track of our picks again this year,
yep,
I'm taking Carolina -3.
All right. Boyd has Carolina, as do I. The only other thing I want to say about this is I've always said pride is one of the few motivators left to pro athletes. If Carolina gets thrashed again by Denver with a 7th-round, second-year quarterback, they might as well just give up on their season because they've got no chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Well,
this game matters a fuck of a lot to Carolina. And Denver did the smart thing. They won the Super Bowl. All right, let's go through all our pain right now. We don't like Brock Osweiler. Wander on. We'll do whatever. But they know they get a pass this year.
Yeah, but with that defense, the biggest factor that could change here is having Kelvin Benjamin back.
What, you think he's better than Ted Ginn?
A bigger target that can make catches in traffic. He was Cam Newton's favorite receiver his rookie year. So if they can get something going in the passing game a little bit, but it's...
You see, I think Carolina was also shocked in the Super Bowl. They were walking on a cloud, and they hadn't faced a real team. Nothing as savage as this Denver defense. And when things started to go wrong, they just snowballed.
Yeah, but
and we kind of saw that the same thing that happened to Peyton Manning when they faced the Seahawks. Everything was a dream. It was 55 touchdowns. It was, we're going to walk through you. They ripped him for a safety in the first play. And when we were watching that Super Bowl, Shelley just said, look at his body language. He's lost the game already.
Yeah.
And that happened to Newton.
But what if they're getting the same pressure as the Super Bowl? That's because Carolina's weakness last year was their offensive line. And they didn't really face an elite defense until the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, then we find out that Carolina are pretenders.
Well, not really, because they could still go.
You know?
No, but they could, Marlon. They could still go 13-3 in that division if they lose, even if they lose to Denver.
Yes, but I think mentally the team has to think if we can't beat Trevor Siemian and the Broncos, we're fucked. It's Trevor Siemian.
But I still can't.
He's really tall.
But they better figure out a way to stop Von Miller.
The interesting part, triple team him and ship him with a running back. Because I do think Denver's defense with Trevathan holding the middle against the run, which Carolina was able to get some ground. We're spending too much time in the game, but
yeah. But
that's just my explanation for my pick.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have Buffalo +3 at Baltimore.
Don't like it at all.
Don't want to bet it.
No, I don't. This is the two shitty team thing for me.
Yeah, though one of the games I do like is two shitty teams. Just
a
little bit of foreshadowing.
Me too.
But,
me too.
This game, two shitty teams. I don't know why Baltimore is getting quite the respect they are.
Me either. They're like -120. They're -3.
And
that should move a point or a half point from that.
You would think. But
what's their defense like?
Their defense wasn't very good. I went to Football Outsiders because I was having trouble understanding this number. And they were like the 21st ranked DVOA defense. It wasn't like they were shut down.
And what did they add up on the offensive side of the ball? They get Steve Smith back.
And he's a 37-year-old, admittedly one of the toughest men on the goddamn planet, but he popped his Achilles in week 6?
Yeah, it's...
what do you have, Kamir Aiken? For whatever reason, I was buying the hype when we were doing our futures bets, and I thought Baltimore was a long shot, and you just shut me down, and you were right.
Well, they haven't done enough to improve.
No.
And
Flacco is Eli Manning.
No, he's worse than Eli.
Okay,
Flacco
I was being as friendly as I could.
Flacco had 4 good games, got a monster contract, and has not come anywhere close to that since. So, I'm taking Buffalo.
Every tight end there. I made the joke, by the way, that playing center for the Chargers was like drummer for the Spinal Tap a while ago.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap, sorry. Drummer for Spinal Tap. Tight end for Baltimore, same thing. They signed Watson, done for the year. It's just amazing. They have no functional tight ends.
Buffalo +3.
I'm with Buffalo as well.
And I don't know what's going on. What's their running back depth chart look like? They released Forsett and then re-signed him.
That was because at 53, then after that, you can move 2 guys to IR.
Okay.
So this was a nod and a wink arrangement with Forsett because he's a veteran, so he doesn't have to go through waivers. No one can claim him. So they cut him saying, buddy, you're back in 3 days.
Okay, I figured something was up.
Yeah, that's how that works. Because after 6 years or whatever, you don't have to clear waivers. So that was just a numbers manipulation game.
Okay, got it. I'm still taking Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Not that I'm a huge fan of Buffalo, but...
No, Sammy Watkins is good. They'll have a decent running game. They have good... I think Tyrod Taylor will play better than Flacco.
I think so, too. He's interesting, at least.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Chicago, plus 6.5 at Houston.
Another one I'm staying away from.
Yeah, I think Chicago is a disaster, but I have no read or feeling on what Houston is.
No, week one will tell us what they have, because they've got Lamar Miller at running back. Now, they essentially switch running backs with Miami. Miller's now starting in Houston, and Adrian Foster is starting in Miami.
Yeah.
So they traded running backs, essentially. They're saying Watt's going to play on Sunday. We'll see. I don't know what Osweiler is. I know what Cutler is. The Bears lost a lot of close games last year, even though they were shitty last year. Yeah. They had a lot of tough losses.
So interestingly, too, if you want to add the Miami thing into here one more year, Gase, who made Cutler probably the best he's ever been last year in Chicago in a disastrous campaign, but Cutler was pretty good. But Gase is now the coach in Miami.
Yeah.
So,
but
I have no idea what all this means. Like, throw a fucking tea leaves on the ground and tell me. 6.5 is too much for me to be comfortable with Houston, but I'm going to take them.
Yeah, I have to take Houston too. DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think the Bears could stop him.
And I honestly am intrigued about what Lamar Miller does. Well, because everyone's buying him high in fantasy and doing all this, he's got to be that great. There's a reason Miami let him go.
Yeah, but if they use him like they did Arian Foster, he's going to be a fucking beast.
Yeah, and from the Hard Knocks in the previous year, we kind of like that coach, though his quarterback waffle was terrible. But
yeah. And what's Osweiler? What do you have, a game or two where he looked like competent NFL quarterback?
One game against New England, and then he looked...
He had a good half against the Steelers. He had a good half against the Steelers, and then he fell apart. So, who knows? But I'm still taking Houston. Chicago's just awful.
Yeah, but there's no way I want to bet it. 6.5 is way more than I want to lay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Cincy minus 2.5 at the New York Jets.
Nope.
Yeah.
Or was this one you liked?
No, I didn't really like it, but it was kind of in the mix. These are two fairly good teams. Probably the first matchup of that. Well, no, Carolina-Denver. But I guess we've got to see what Cincy does with their depleted receiving core. The Jets' defense is bloody outstanding, or was last year. I don't see that changing.
And they still have Decker and Marshall on the outside. Who's their running back this year in New York?
Matt Forte. Oh. And Bilal Powell, who I think is actually more interesting than Forte at this stage. But
yeah, Forte coming out of the backfield, catching the ball too. Gives Fitzpatrick another weapon.
Forte, by the way, did not look bad at all in the Chicago games. I almost think it was out of respect for him that Chicago just said, sit down for the last
you're going to be a free agent. Yeah.
We're not going to hurt you in a lost season. I would hate to ascribe nobility or any sort of thing like that to an NFL team because we know it doesn't exist, but it did seem player-friendly.
and Burfeck's out for the first 4 games. Don't know how that's going to affect their defense in the middle.
And since he, by the way, also has a strong defense, this is a game I don't want to touch, but I think it might be a good under bet.
Yeah. Well, they have Cincinnati's Tyler Boyd, rookie receiver, and AJ Green.
Yeah,
so
Effort's out. The under in this game is 41.5. Yeah. I don't know. I might like it as an under in Vegas. Now, who am I going to take? Dalton coming off injury. I'm going with the New York Jets.
No, I'm taking Cincy.
All right.
My underdogs
dispute.
My underdogs are coming up later.
Well, we already took one with Buffalo, but all right. Next up, we have Cleveland +4 at Philly.
Okay, we're not even talking about this game outside of the Sam Bradford trade.
Yes.
Which we both said before the podcast we were shocked when it was announced. Because there was no rumblings of any. You knew they'd be looking for a quarterback, but I was thinking more along the lines of McCown out of Cleveland or something like that. Not Bradford. Who, the Eagles, he was pissed off when they drafted Wentz.
Because he's
understandably.
Being so oh, yeah, but because
but
of
it's
your
understandable.
track record.
No, it's understandable that, okay, you just tell me, because they probably told him the year before, you're our guy, and then they draft a quarterback.
Yeah, and also bring in and pay a ridiculous amount of money to the backup from KC.
Yeah. So he knew his days were numbered, but he reported to camp like a good soldier and then was listed as the starter until they traded him. But a first and a fourth, I understand why Minnesota did it, but I think a 2 and a 4 would have been better.
Yeah.
But
the price seems high. I totally agree with you on why Minnesota did it, but I just want to bring up the absurdity that now Sam Bradford is worth 2 number 1 picks, including the first overall, a number 2, and something like $56 million earned in his career.
Yeah.
Right
he's never
place,
played a playoff game.
Right fucking time.
Yeah, he was the last quarterback before they changed the draft structure for payments.
Like, it's just crazy what the value paid for Sam Bradford is over this league in the 2010 in 6 years. The value that Sam Bradford has caused to change hands. It's mind-blowing.
But who else would you have went out and got? Like, the Jets are offering up
fucking Sanchez.
No.
Well, no, I was just about to say even Sanchez can hand the ball off, but we all know that isn't true.
But what, are you going after Geno Smith? He's available, but what's he done?
Mitch was saying Kaepernick, but Kaepernick lost 40 pounds. I think he has no interest in playing football again.
No, it's not even that. He just doesn't fit their system.
True.
Bridgewater was an accurate passer, air the ball for the most part, and got out Adrian Peterson's way. So they needed a competent quarterback so that you couldn't just put 8 in the box every down. There had to be some threat of a competent passing game. Even if they never pass much, they still needed a quarterback that, I'm not going to say he puts the fear into defenses like...
But just throws an accurate ball. No, you're right. You're right. That's a good assessment of it. But that's not Sam Bradford's strength.
But they've got a shot this year. They've got a shot this year.
Bradford has never achieved more than like 57% accuracy.
No, I know, but going into this year before Bridgewater went down, they had a shot.
Yeah.
And then they had to go out and get Bradford.
And they can dump him reasonably enough next year. And if there's a team that can probably give up a first without suffering, it's Minnesota.
Yes. But Peterson they've only got a year, maybe 2 left with him. This is their window.
But Minnesota's a fucking solid team in every other direction. It's perplexing, but God, I'll bet it on a parlay card in Vegas where I'm just trying to hit the lottery. But otherwise, there's no way on earth I am betting this fucking game. I would rather bet Week 4 preseason again.
And this one, I'm taking Philly, seeing we have the Browns to win less than 4.5 games.
Unfortunately, I think Cleveland is a little more together as an organization, so I'm taking Cleveland.
Oh, there's no Josh Brown. Is Terrell Pryor going to scare you? Duke Johnson?
RG3, man. It's the Renaissance.
Defense, and their defense. Fuck, they got rid of most of their defense.
Almost everyone. They've put out a practice squad, which helps our bet. But, all right. Next up, we have Green Bay minus 4.5 at Jacksonville.
Nope.
I agree with you, too. I was kind of hoping you didn't want to do this.
No. Green Bay sucked on the road last year. Everybody seems to have a hard-on for Jacksonville's offense. I don't know. Their defense is
I
still
don't
iffy.
buy Jacksonville. Do you know what Jacksonville was last year? They were your Houston Oilers under Jerry Glanville. It was chuck and duck and no concept of anything.
Well, okay. If you're going to bet Green Bay, if they return to what everybody thinks is Jordy Nelson's going to make that offense work again. If that's the case, this is the lowest line you're going to get in a while.
Yep. But they also just released Josh Sitton, a guard, on an offensive line that struggled mightily last year.
But maybe that's why they got rid of him. Nobody said anything.
I've heard it's about money, like he wanted an extension, whatever. But it seems odd that one of the better performing offensive linemen you have on a questionable unit gets dumped a week before the season. Like, that doesn't look like good organizational planning to me.
Well, but did their defense improve any?
I have no idea because I saw really no moves.
Eddie Lacy's apparently in better shape. They get
I'm
Jordy
tired
Nelson
of the
back.
Eddie Lacy fat watch.
Well, I don't care, but he's going to be down 20 to 30 pounds. He's got to be a better back than he was 30 pounds heavier.
I'm starting to think Mike McCarthy, and I was never a full believer, but I'm starting to think he's not only a mediocre coach, he's a poor coach.
No, but, well, yeah, to some degree, because how can you lose one guy and your whole offense sputter?
Yeah, and you inherited a team that was arguably the finest in football, and your boneheaded play calls lost a playoff game to Seattle. And then you give play calling to someone else, and then you take it back, and you fade down the stretch again, and you've got the greatest quarterback in football. Sorry, Cam, but Aaron Rodgers is still the best, and you can't find a way to get people open?
Well, see, that's the offensive line, though, too.
Well, yeah, talk to Phillip Rivers about that.
No, I know, but what was their record?
No, their record was terrible, too, but the fact is that Aaron Rodgers would drop back. Maybe he has decision-making problems, but he'd drop back, look 5 directions, and have nobody.
Well, we found the honest truth about the difference between a number 1 and a number 2 receiver. Jordy Nelson could get open, so his coverage left Randall Cobb a little easier coverage.
Yep.
When he became the number 1 guy, he couldn't do it.
No, he certainly couldn't. And it didn't help that who was that hack they had in there that everyone always touted as the next great thing. Was it Devontae Adams?
Yeah. Well, it's Adam. Is it Adams
There's
or
so
Parker?
many.
One
No,
of the
Parker's
two?
in Miami.
Okay, then it's Adams. Because I always get those two mixed up. But yeah, he went high in everybody's draft board last year because they figured, Cobb will go to number 1 and Adams to number 2 in Green Bay, and they got Rodgers. Didn't work out, and they struggle on the road. Even when they were at the top of the league, they struggled on the road to score points. Last year was fucking abomination.
I think history might look at this team as, seriously, these are the people you had and you won 1 Super Bowl?
Yeah, but the defense never lived up to it. Raji had that one great year, and he was never the same.
And I don't.
Clay Matthews has been
everyone's
good,
saying,
but not
he'd be
great.
so much better on the outside. And I'm thinking, he was okay on the outside. There's 100 guys, or not 100, but there's tons of guys who can edge rush in pass downs. They put him in middle. He's turned into a pretty good player in my mind. But they keep wanting him to move outside. Why? Is it just for the photo ops of the flowing locks and the celebrations? I don't even think he was that great an outside linebacker.
No. He had one good year where he had a lot of sacks and made his name on it.
Yeah, and if we sat down, we could name a dozen edge rushers who picked up double-digit sacks coming from the edge in pass-only situations.
Oh, the Titans, Arakpo.
Yeah, there we go. Right there.
So,
there was another Packer, too, who that's all he did. And it was fine. That's an excellent player to be. But I still think Matthews is a bit overhyped. But I do think he's played a solid middle linebacker.
Yes. That being said...
All right.
This one's tough for me. Because I don't think Green Bay's defense is that great. You got Yeldon in his second year, should be better. And you got Hearns and Robinson. And Robinson's a top 5 receiver right now to me in the NFL, or top 7 anyway.
Yeah.
Because you got to throw Dez in there with the Beckham and them. But they're going to have a fuck of a time covering him. And if they do cover him, Hearns is good and could put up good numbers too.
Hearns is a good number too. He was just what we talked about with Cobb.
Yeah.
Hearns would be just another guy without a great number 1 beside him.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I still think Jacksonville is 80% a mirage. I am going Green Bay.
See, this is going to be a shootout, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either team has a good defense.
I'm marking over.
And it's at 48.
Yeah, that could be the first fucking half.
No, I got to go to
Especially
the
if
Packers
Bortles.
too.
Yeah, you're going Pack too?
Yeah,
I don't buy Jacksonville at all. I still really don't.
This is the closest or the hardest one I've had to make so far. Because the way Green Bay struggled on the road scoring points last year, I don't know if Jordy Nelson fixes all of it. Their offensive line seems to be a mess.
And we don't really know.
And
I mean, Jordy's 31 or 32. Guess what? With the comeback, we don't know that he has that. He was one of the strangest receivers I've ever seen because he never looked that fast, but he was. It never looked like he should be able to do that little stutter back in and then break and destroy a cornerback like he should, but he did. You know,
well, that's the whole not prejudice, but the myth. The white guys aren't as fast as black guys. He's one of the rare exceptions.
No, I wasn't downgrading his speed because he was white. But when you watched him, did it ever look like he should be doing it that effortlessly?
No, because he was always open deep.
Yeah, and it was on these little moves where... Anyway, he's a great receiver. I'm not knocking him. But he's coming off an ACL. He's He's in his 30s.
But if he
have any proof at all that he still has that speed and cutting ability left?
No, but what changed for the Packers and what might make their offense great again? They had no deep threat last year to soften up defenses. If he gives them that again, they're going to be scary good on offense.
Yeah, I mean, and I took Green Bay because I still don't believe in Jacksonville, but I'm not certain Jordy Nelson fixes it all.
And this is the third year for Bortles. If he doesn't, this will show you if he's learned anything.
Yeah, and
about
right now,
bad decisions and
I
the
am totally
interceptions.
fading Blake Bortles. Most of his passing yards were after he'd thrown three picks in the first half and had to catch up, and it was just chuck and duck.
We'll see. We got to have good quarterbacks come from somewhere.
We hope.
Well, no, there's always somebody comes in from and takes the spot and becomes the next guy to ascend to that level.
I don't think he's that guy. You've heard my opinion. I am fading them by basically 4-1 that Jacksonville is a mirage.
I'm not that far off. Well, I'm not as down on them as you. Because if he changes his decision making by 10%, he's going to be an all-pro.
Yeah, guys can get smarter. That's one thing that
he's got all the tools. He can move in the pocket. He's got a great arm.
And with Chris Ivory and Yeldon there, who Yeldon I think is actually an excellent back.
Yeah. So
he's got all the weapons. Let's see what he does.
That's all I'm saying. That you'll know. Because at third year in, if you haven't figured it out by then, you never will. So I'm interested to see in this one how he does.
Okay, I'm fading them. All right, next up, we cannot bet. We still haven't found a game to bet on. Minnesota -2.5 at Tennessee. I'm shocked this isn't off the board.
Well, no, because the injury happened sooner. It wasn't like, isn't he playing? It was.
So you assume, and I assume, that Sean Hill is going to take the snaps in this game for Minnesota.
Yes, and you might see Bradford in the second half if it's going sideways. I think Tennessee's defense is going to eat up Sean Hill.
Well, your defense isn't good. You realize this.
Our front seven is good.
Casey is good.
Our front set, we were top 10 defense last year, dude. We get heat on the quarterback. If we get any coverage out of our corners this year, and our safety play can't be worse. If we get any coverage, well, we didn't have McCourty for almost the whole season last year at one corner spot. We had a fucking rookie starting. We've cleaned house of almost all of Rulston Webster's draft picks from the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Hunter got cut.
Yeah. Everyone.
We've cleaned house. Which, when you're 2-14 back-to-back years, or 3-13 and 2-14, whatever it was, what are you keeping them for? I have no problem with it.
No, I didn't think you do. And I like Tennessee in a lot of ways this year. But you are also, with your exotic smash mouth concept, you are about to run into the teeth of one of the nastiest defenses in the league.
Well, we'll see if they can hold up against 2-run 40 for 4 quarters. No team's built for that anymore.
No, and we discussed this a while ago.
Or
ourselves,
play action.
Maybe zagging. Everyone says Tennessee's insane. It's a passing league. Well, if everyone's building their defenses on dime packages of DBs, if you can have a smash mouth running back, isn't that exploiting a market efficiency?
And we have 2. We don't have 1. We have 2. And what nobody's talked about is play action off of that when you pound it down their throat. And you put 8 in the
or
box.
really, some people have talked about it, but just the zone read. Right? If you're willing to put Mariota out there a little bit on a rollout with a running back to pitch to,
Yeah.
that gives you another option.
And
now,
they did
Mariota, by the way, was hit 10% of the times he dropped back last year. So your O-line is still an issue. And I saw what Minnesota can do to a weak O-line last year.
We replaced 2 starters on the offensive line. The offensive line, the only time he got hit against Oakland in 2 quarters was when he rolled out and hung on to the ball. Made the play. The only time he got hit.
Are you talking preseason or regular season?
Preseason week 3 when the starters play the first half.
Okay, yeah, you can read something into that.
No, but I didn't read anything into the Carolina game that I watched the first half. No, because you're mixing in. I watched,
and the reads are very simple. Let's face it. Even though it's the starters, no one's throwing their packages at you.
No, we just ran the ball, and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop it. Well, you watched the first half. Stop Henry or Murray.
No, I'm optimistic with you, but this is a great test. Really, you'll see what's going on because that Minnesota defense is not fake. There is nothing fake about it.
Oh. I want to see Sean Hill prove he can handle Dick LeBeau blitzes.
Okay, so your belief
after taking 2 reps.
Okay, so your belief is on your defense, all right?
No, if Bridgewater was playing in this game, I would take Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm taking Tennessee based on our ability to control the clock, run the ball, do what Minnesota wants to do with Peterson. We're going to have 2 guys that are going to hammer the snot out of that defense, and we'll see if they want to do it for 4 quarters.
That's interesting, because in some ways it's almost mirror image teams.
Yeah, except we'll do it for 4 quarters with 2 guys instead of 1 guy.
And, with 2 guys instead of 1 guy. I'm still taking Minnesota.
No, if Bridgewater was starting, I'd take Minnesota. This isn't a homer pick.
If Bridgewater was starting, it wouldn't be 2.5.
I know. I'd still take Minnesota with Bridgewater. It'd be like 4. It'd be like 4 or 4.5.
4.5, yeah. I think it would be 4.5. I think he's only a 2-point quarterback, yeah.
I would still take Minnesota. This isn't a homer pick. Well, you know me. I didn't pick homer last year.
Oh, I know. I know. You sound like I'm attacking your religion here. I'm just...
You are. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone.
All right.
No, but I'm basing it on the front 7 getting pressure on Hill because he's going to have to beat us. There's going to be 8 guys in the box the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
Because you know what they're going to try and do.
Both sides.
Yeah.
It's an interesting game from that perspective, right? Like,
and I think our offensive
2
line,
of the last 2 teams that are trying to build primarily on a power running attack.
But the difference is one of our power running backs is 22, not 30, 31.
Yep.
Like, unless
I just think their defense is significantly better than your defense. That's why I'm taking Minnesota.
Now we'll see if they can make up for a couple of picks he throws.
Huh. All right. Okay, next up, we have Oakland +1 at New Orleans. And I think we found a winner.
Yes. Raiders.
The Raiders are wildly overhyped, but
we liked them last year.
Last year we fucking said that, yes, but we also didn't bet them to win this. You quite wisely said they're still a year away. Oakland is a good team now, and we've been riding them for a while, and everyone seems to think somehow that New Orleans is good.
Okay.
We bet them on the under last year. We cashed it. New Orleans.
But we still made money on them. We still made money on the Saints you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bet New Orleans under. We bet they were the favorite in the division when we took Carolina. How do we look on that? I mean,
I still don't get they get this love. It's got to be the betting public. That's got to be the only thing, isn't it?
I don't know. Like, I understand what Drew Brees is. Brandon Cooks is an exciting player, but I'm still not buying Mark Ingram. I'm still...
Not even that. They can put up 35, but their defense is going to give up 42.
Well, yeah, and they blamed that all on Ryan, which may have been accurate.
No,
but
there's no talent there.
What did they do to improve that defense? They've been working off a salary cap hell. There is Drew Brees, and there is no talent. Who else are they fucking paying on that team?
Nobody on the defensive side of the ball that I can think of.
The O-line is nothing special. Like, I wouldn't call them a complete disaster, but Khalil Mack is real.
Yeah.
No, I love this one.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
We're betting this on the money line, dude.
Yeah, make it so. Make it so before they take it off the board for some kind of crazy reason.
So we have the Raiders plus 100 to win in New Orleans. $10 pays 20. No vig.
Let's
surprised.
just book it.
I did. I was surprised to see that line with the hype that Oakland's got. That offense, and I know Tennessee, they struggled against Oakland's passing game. That's why I said if Bridgewater was playing, no, I wouldn't take Tennessee. Fucking Derek Carr lit him up in the first half against our starters. So I don't know what New Orleans defense is going to do to stop it. They've got good running backs. That DeAndre Washington looked really good.
I think it's more him than Latavius Murray, to be honest.
Well, I think by the end of the year, and I didn't look at their cuts, but my guess is they kept Jalen Richard too, because him and Washington looked identical when they were in against the Titans. They're both about 5'8", quick, fucking explosive through the cut and gone. I actually liked Richard better than Washington in that game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I had him on my list to draft. I just ran out of room.
I liked everything I saw from Washington, and I don't think they need that much. I think they've got one good receiver in Washington, and this is the third year. This is where we find out whether Carr also is as good as we think he's going to be.
Yeah.
Like we were on board, and there was a lot of opposition to our position that Carr was very good.
Well, we said he was the best quarterback in that draft. We'll see. It's between him and Bortles, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying he'll go this way, but I do not think New Orleans is good.
No.
There's only, just because Drew Brees passes for 4,500 yards at will. What was his record last year? 6-10?
Yeah. Yeah, because they were 6.5, I think. Or no, they were like 8 or 8.5. Yeah, but still, yeah, they were terrible, and their defense hasn't improved that much.
No, and don't tell me it's just a coordinator. Like the one guy they spent money on, that they're still paying. They released that fucking safety from Seattle.
Yeah, Browner.
They're still paying him. They're in the worst salary cap situation. You can't staff a 53-man roster when you're giving up 40% of your money in dead money, which is what they're doing. I'm not even talking about the players on the field, like Breeze or anybody, but they have cap disasters all over.
Yeah.
I think they're a terrible team. I love this bet.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have San Diego +7 at Kansas City. We are not allowed to bet this game, though I'm going KC.
These games are always closer than that. What was it?
San
Was it
Diego
2
is
years ago?
mediocre. Let's just put it this way. San
I know
Diego
they are.
is mediocre. That's all they are.
I know
KC
they are.
is good.
But these division games between these two teams always somehow seem to be closer than 7 points.
Yeah, and it's either way most of the time, but San Diego has no defense. Like, let's see, Jamal Charles isn't supposed to play, which would be a boon. Though I think any blocking and any running back right now can charge up San Diego's run defense for 100 yards. I read an article today or yesterday, one of the two. And it was a bitter old beat reporter for San Diego, not Kevin SC. We all know my opinion on him. And the guy just said,
forget. Could you remind me from last week? It's still not ringing in my ears.
Sorry. Fucking hack. But this guy just said, Tim Telesco may have the title of GM, but Spanos makes all the decisions. And I'm thinking, why do I have a losing team? Now I know. He's making personnel decisions. He's a piece of shit billionaire's kid. Go fuck yourself. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm taking KC. KC is going to win by 17 points exactly.
I think I'm taking KC too, but I think I get this one wrong. These teams always play close games at the start of the year. Andy Reid's team starts slow. Look at last year.
That's a good point.
What'd they win, their last 10? To make Denver sweat?
11.
9 or 10. Yeah, somewhere in there. So, yeah.
I think they were 1-4 and finished... Yeah, 12-4 or... Yeah.
11-5 or something. Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
Yeah, and if San Diego could have beaten Denver, we would have cashed every which way, and Denver wouldn't have won a Super Bowl because there's no way they win those playoff games on the road.
No. But I'm taking Kansas City, even though I think
am
it's
too.
Going to be closer.
I honestly thought this opened at 6.5, and I was shocked. And I'm honestly a little shocked that it's only moved to 7. But I still think San Diego's offense is good. And,
It is.
I honestly think Melvin Gordon... I listened to a podcast where it was a fantasy podcast, and he said, watch Melvin Gordon. It's like, should have lost 2, gained 2. Should have lost 1, gained 2. Like, that was what he was running against. It's tough to imagine an offensive line worse than last year's. So, I'm a big believer in Melvin Gordon yet.
Okay. I'm taking Kansas City. I think it's close. I think it's like a 3 or 4 point game. But,
all right. Next up, we have Tampa Bay +3 at Atlanta.
Another game I like.
All right, talk me into it.
Well, Atlanta's awful. They have Julio Jones and maybe Devontae Freeman or Tevin Coleman. That's it. Their defense was atrocious last year. What did they do to improve? They were the worst team in that division.
Yeah?
Where did they improve? You should be talking me out of it.
What, do you want Tampa +3? No, I don't mind this either. I just wanted to hear your reasons. Because I'm kind of with you.
Well, the stuff I talked about last year after watching Winston in the locker room and the way the players responded to him, he's voted captain this year.
Yeah. He's got Mike Evans, still the underrated Vincent Jackson, who just keeps chugging away.
Good running game.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Decent defensive front. They were in the playoff hunt till about week 13 last year.
Yeah. And Atlanta, you're right. They have Julio, and maybe if you believe in Devontae Freeman, which I really don't. I think he's a very useful and very good NFL player, but that October is never happening again.
Well, he's spit and run. He wasn't even the starter there. They had Tevin Coleman was the starter.
And then he came in and got like 9 touchdowns or whatever in October. 7 to 9, somewhere in there. And yeah, by the last month of the season, Matt Ryan is marginal. He's acceptable. Like, if Minnesota had Matt Ryan, they'd be fine, but...
And to be honest, after the Week 1 loss to the Titans last year, Winston was better than Mariota.
Oh, yeah.
Last year.
I don't disagree. He was seeing the whole field.
Well, he's got better targets, too.
Oh, yeah. It helps when you have Evans and VJX, right? But they never put him on the rollout to restrict his field of view. They were giving him full reins on that offense from the get-go.
And it helps he had a little better running game than the Titans last year, too.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the muscle hamster does. But all right, let's bang this one in.
Well, let's see. We'll put it in the mix.
All right.
We'll keep it in the mix. You might be able to talk me into something else, but that was one of the ones I liked. I'm underdog heavy this week in the ones I want to bet, just so you know.
No, me too. Though I really like... yeah, all right.
What?
Next up. Well, I wasn't that big on this game, but your argument was swift and convincing.
Okay.
Next up, we have Miami plus 10.5 at Seattle. I will never lay double digits in Week 1.
No. No. I think Miami's going to stink.
That said, I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah, me too. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this game. I'm interested to see what Arian Foster's got left.
Nothing.
Now?
That's my guess.
Well, no, but that's why I'm interested to see. Because this is a good test against a decent defense. They're not what they once were either. We'll see. Because if they have any shot at keeping this game close, they're going to have to stay on the field using him and eating clock.
Yeah,
so
Miami has one good player, in my opinion, Jarvis Landry. That's it. On offense.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Seattle
what they got.
has brutal offensive line problems, so if Cameron Wake is at full speed and they get any kind of interior guy to at least bump, maybe take a chip and let the edge come free.
Who the hell did Seattle play in Week 3 of the preseason? Where Russell made that scramble for a touchdown where he ran about 30 yards because of the pressure?
I didn't see it.
He scrambled from one side of the field to the other, should have been sacked about 3 times. If that's what his offensive line's looking like, they might be in trouble.
Yeah, that's my worry about Seattle, and I'm not going to lay double digits in Week 1.
But I'm taking
Learned that
Seattle.
lesson 10 years ago.
I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why. They were 5-3 at home last year.
I still do like Russell Wilson. All right, next up, we have Detroit plus 4 at Indy.
This was my other game.
This is my favorite game of the week.
Yep.
This opened... The only thing here that worries me right now is this opened at 6 to 6.5.
Well,
and
what's
know
wrong
how
with
we
that?
like to fade the public.
That's exactly what I was going to say. What are you worried about? That offensive line in Indy is atrocious.
Detroit still has a push on the line.
Yeah.
I love this game. I can't believe I'm getting 4 points. Like, when I get off the plane in Vegas, I'm hammering this number.
They've got Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, wideouts. I think Amir Abdullah should be better than he was last year. They still have Theo Reddick out of the backfield. Like you said, their defense has good push up front.
Their defense isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's a nice little middle of the road defense.
Well, you look at what they did to Green Bay last year in 2 games.
Yeah.
Against Aaron Rodgers. They got no points.
I love this game.
Yeah. And if they don't get fucked with that win in Seattle, if they didn't get fucked with that win in Seattle, he might have to call
me after he listens to this, because he gave me some money to bet on Detroit, and I'm going, you want the money line, right? And he's going, no, I want the points. I think Detroit's going to win outright.
I don't have a problem betting that. It was between Oakland and this where my, holy fuck. Did anybody watch the preseason? Everything I read about Indy was that their offensive line has not improved a bit from last year. That was their biggest problem last year. Everybody's going Luck's accuracy and this and that. Well, he had no fucking time. He was running for his life on every play.
He hangs onto the ball too long. And he will still sail it and throw bad balls. Why do we think this was fixed by his injury? He had some really fucking bad tendencies in his first 2 years. I mean, we're all ready to anoint him. We'll see. I mean, maybe he'll come out and he'll fucking scorch him, because Detroit's secondary is no great fucking hell. But they can get a push up front.
And Indy's running game doesn't scare me. Gore is serviceable as a number 1 back. But he's not busting it to the house.
All he is, he's 75 yards and 20 on catches. He's a 10-point running back, fantasy talk. I love this game. We'll have to discuss, I think, here whether we're going money line.
Yeah, 4 is a big number.
Yeah, I think I'd rather take the points.
Yeah. But I wouldn't have, if you wanted to bet the money line, I have no problem with that either. But 4, if it was 3, no brainer, or 2.5, no, 3. I'd go 3. 4 gets us a win if they lose by 3. That's the biggest.
Yeah, and 4 is a big number, right?
Yeah.
4 is a huge number, the average margin. Yeah, we'll see. But I also don't believe in T.Y. Hilton. I don't believe in Moncrief.
Who's Dwayne Allen at tight end?
He's acceptable.
But it doesn't scare. It's not like, it's Gronk.
Yeah.
Their defensive front, their corners out. Their best corners out, I believe.
Oh, they've got no corners. They're signing guys off the street. They've lost 2 corners against a team that really is likely to pass 80% of the time in Detroit.
Yeah.
If Stafford doesn't sail 4 balls for picks, I don't see how Detroit loses this game.
No, it was, like I said, it was the Oakland game and this game. I was like, what? I know they lost Calvin Johnson.
Well, and like I said, this is one I'm glad we're getting in here early on the Monday night.
Yeah.
/ Tuesday morning, because as I said, it opened at 6 and is 6.5 in various books, and it's already being pounded down to 4.
Fuck, I'd love to get it at 6.
Yep.
But okay, well, that's in the mix.
All right, the New York Giants -1 at Dallas.
No.
Yeah, too many variables.
Don't know what Prescott.
Okay, by the way, with Detroit Indy, that was the game I was referencing, which is 2 shitty teams.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, I just
that was clear to me.
We kind of teased that early in the pod, and I just wanted
it's good
to
you brought it up for
clarify that this is definitely when we're breaking a rule on 2 shitty teams.
I don't think Detroit's going to be that shitty, though, as people think. The defense wasn't, like you said, it wasn't spectacular last year. It was steady.
They still have Caldwell at coach, which is good for -3 off any estimation.
Yeah, but they won what? How many out of their last 8 or 9 games last year? When they put that new Jim Bob Cooter in at the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but all he did was throw short screens. I mean, it was...
Who cares?
Yeah.
It was effective.
Yeah.
It's a production league, and when you're winning, you're producing. I don't care how the fuck he did it.
Caldwell's still a goddamn
They're still not.
freaking
They're
disaster.
still not as bad as people think.
No,
They lost one impact player,
and Indy, in my opinion, is certainly not as good as people think.
No.
I don't know why. Everyone fell in love with Luck, and I love Luck too. I love his personality. I think he's got all the potential, but he's never really shown that he's good. He had the cardiac comeback shit, but once again, that's chuck and duck. It's not the business of winning.
Yeah.
It's just see our discussion on Blake Bortles for a similar discussion.
I think they might finish in the basement in the AFC South.
It's possible. All right, Giants at Dallas. We're both avoiding it. Oh, fuck.
I'm taking the Giants.
I got it too.
I know they've got Elliott and Dez, a rookie quarterback. The Giants' defense doesn't scare me.
Rookie quarterback. Okay, it's not even much of a test. This is like your soft entry to the league. You're facing the Giants' defense, which I think is atrocious. So, Dak, we need a superstar in this league. Come bring it. I would love to see that happen.
Oh, I hope so. Because we got Dallas to win the division.
And he really... well, yeah, plus he looks goddamn smooth back there. Like, I watched a lot of his preseason. Well, we've talked about preseason. I don't get that excited. But you don't usually see anyone that smooth. Smooth matters at quarterback.
Well,
It's like, I'm going to check here. Oh, okay, I'm going to fucking throw a nice super high ball to Dez because he does that. Oh, no, I see nothing. I'm going to cut it inside, make one cut, and score a touchdown with my feet.
Well, we're going to see a lot of Ezekiel Elliott and a lot of, what the fuck's the running back, Davis from Washington that they have?
No, you mean, Run DMC. It's going to be Run DMC and Ezekiel for
No,
Dallas.
McFadden's hurt, isn't he? From what I was reading.
Oh, yeah, he smashed his hand catching a cell phone.
No, but he's still hurt. There's something they weren't really saying in the article. They don't know what.
Yeah, but they're going to run the ball a lot. And
yeah.
In any case, yeah, it's Giants, but yeah, this is one of the last games I would bet on.
Well, you'll probably bet on it in some fashion.
I fucking will. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to have money on every fucking game in some context. Next up, we have New England +6 at Arizona. 6 is the fucking evil number where I can't decide.
I know. I looked at this one too. It seems like Arizona should be able to cover this.
But then I think back to all or nothing. The games they should win are the games Arizona shit the bed on.
With all the changes New England's had, personnel-wise, on both, like on defense especially, fuck. No Brady. If Brady was playing, what would it be? -1 Arizona? Or a pick'em? Because Arizona's home field advantage means something.
I think it would be... It's tough because Arizona's a damn good football team.
No, I know. Good running backs. Still got Fitzgerald in the slot. John Brown going deep. They have a good safety and corner play.
I'm taking Arizona. I'm skipping the Belichick voodoo on this pick.
Well, especially because
Arizona is superior at every position on the field.
Except tight end.
Yeah.
Well, they got a pretty good corner in New England, too. McCourty, pretty air safety. McCourty's pretty good. And they got Mingo from Cleveland. play linebacker. But yeah, I'm taking Arizona too.
And plus, as we've always said, Arizona has one of the best home field advantages in the league.
Yeah, give me Arizona.
All right. But I'm just, God damn it, like, how many years of Belichick just has me so frightened on every level.
Well, especially what they've known all season, or all off season, who they're going to play.
Yeah, I know. He scares me. He's, oh my God.
Well, they always find
on
the
my
way.
shoulder. Yeah.
Remember when Brady went down? Castle went 11-5.
Who knows that he's just going, all right, Arizona's good. Let's not even really bust our balls on this. And then go win the next 3, which are all very winnable.
Yeah, no,
he might be treating this as an extension of the preseason. Belichick is that fucking brilliant.
No.
He might
but be. I gotta take Arizona though. Just I don't know if New England can score enough. Deion Lewis is out. They still have Gronk, Edelman, Amendola. They still got LeGarrette Blount.
Did they put the mole in with what's his name? They traded to Arizona?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's sending videotape back.
No, he's just going to dump laxatives in the entire Cardinals team's Gatorade.
Yeah, I don't know if you want a quarterback starting a game against that Arizona defense in his first start.
I think the defense in Zona is a bit overrated, but I still think they're excellent.
I think when this schedule came out and Brady was still a starter, NBC was licking their chops, and now it's a fucking whatever.
Well, it gets curiosity value.
Yeah, but
everyone
it's not.
who watches football wants to see what happens here.
If this goes how we kind of think it's going to go by the half, fuck, everybody will be switching their TVs off.
I just think about last year losing to Roethlisberger's backup. They lost to fucking Landry Jones.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of...
Pittsburgh -3 at Washington.
Okay, tell me why this hasn't moved higher. When it's -125 if you take the Steelers. At -3.
Oh, that's Steelers money. They just know
what's
going to come.
No, I know. But
why
didn't
move the point spread for people who want Washington? Because Steelers fans will pay it to -150. They're going to bet on their fucking Iron City Heroes till -150. Why would you move the line?
So that being said, who you got?
I don't believe in Washington, and I don't believe in the Steelers.
Okay. So who you got?
Fuck. No, you're making me commit first. All right.
Well, we're not gonna bet on it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna take it because I think Washington's defense is actually better than the Steelers' defense. You can go with all your shit about Kirk Cousins, all of that. Washington's there, which most people aren't even aware of. They got Josh Norman, who seems to want to out-diva the wide receivers, but nevertheless, he's really fucking good. I like Washington's D with a suspect O-line and an improving but still weak defense. Pittsburgh can't just be Antonio Brown. And I don't see much behind that.
All right. I'm looking at the Steelers. I don't mind D'Angelo Williams starting for Bell for 3 games. I love Antonio Brown. Roethlisberger's better than Cousins.
No argument.
I know Washington has a good defense or an underrated defense. But Cousins in these bigger games, like a Monday nighter, who's their starting? Matt Jones started running back. They've got two old receivers, Garcon and Jackson. I think the Steelers can put up.
You're right. Cousins hasn't beaten a winning team.
No. So give me the Steelers. I'll lay the 3.
All right. We're not betting on that, by the way.
No.
All right. Next up, and the final game of the doubleheader. Welcome back, LA. And what a marquee matchup. LA is 2.5-point favorites at the Niners.
So I'm guessing you want to bet this game? I know from your less than enthusiastic introduction.
Well, this is beyond shitty
facetious.
teams. This is beyond shitty teams. These are fucking shitholes.
You see their number 1 picks, 3rd string on the depth chart? Go off his 3rd string.
Good thing he gave up so much. But Case Keenum will hold the fort. I don't know what to say, but I think the Niners are even worse.
Yeah, they could be. Defense was frisky last year.
So was the Rams. The Rams' defense is legitimately good.
Yeah. This comes down to Gurley versus Hyde. Well, and I like Todd Gurley better than Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, that's where it is.
David
Work, he demanded that we bet LA. I'm putting down a 7-game money line parlay in Vegas for us. And he demanded we bet LA. But he just did it because he thinks Kaepernick's a dickwad. But
and he's not even starting.
I know.
No, give me the Rams. Their defense is good enough.
All right.
And can I just say this about the Rams? And this is Hard Knocks, which we talked about in previous weeks, but there's no time. But just from Hard Knocks, watching Tavon Austin sign his contract, he was like in shock almost signing it. He's like, this is surreal. Fisher came in, brought the contract, hugged him. Austin hugged him twice.
Well, he should.
No, but it's just their reasoning behind it. Like they're putting him in the bracket of receivers below Julio and AJ and Dez.
Yeah.
Was their reasoning.
Interesting player. I mean, imagine what Belichick would do with Tavon Austin.
Yeah, but they're saying they paid him based on what he's gonna do. But they slotted him in just below the top tier of receivers, which he's not. He's an incredible talent, used the right way, but he gets most of his balls, he catches his screen passes or reverses.
Or running plays, for fuck's
That's what I mean.
sake.
Like the reverses and you're paying him top wide receiver money.
He's Percy Harvin without the insanity.
Yeah. But I liked how he reacted to signing it.
Okay, well, good for him. And, me, I don't care if you're a terrible player. If you're signing that money and don't fuck it up, I'm always happy for you, because the number of players who are fucking ground out like meat, players should always win.
The Rams make no sense. You're putting Case Keenum throwing the ball to a $40 million wide receiver.
Well, because you've got Jeff Fisher, the most risk-averse coach in history.
No, but they still don't have a quarterback to throw to that. That's Osweiler in Houston with DeAndre Hopkins. He'll put up numbers better than Austin.
Oh, and they hyped, the most people at a preseason game ever. Well, one, the biggest stadium. Two, these people will be gone by week 6.
Yeah, you made that point clear too. That one's echoing in the back of my brain. You went on a roll last week.
I was angry.
Okay, so we're both taking the Rams.
We have three games we like.
Yeah. So
They're
Tampa
all
Bay,
dogs, baby.
Yeah. Tampa Bay +3 at Atlanta.
Now, do we want the money?
Yeah, threes are cut off.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to the money line.
+140.
Let's take it.
Okay. The +3 bet first. So we have Tampa on the money line in Atlanta. +140. $10 pays 24. We're going to look either really smart or really fucking dumb after this week.
Why am I betting on the latter? Okay, but let's okay, the next game, Detroit +4, let's take the points.
Yeah, we got money line on 2 other games, so let's take an advantage they're giving us. So we've got the line over the Colts in Indy. Did you realize we bet on all 3 road teams?
Yeah, it's week 1.
$10 pays $19.09.
All right.
Fucking underdogs and road teams.
All dogs, all road.
And we on underdogs last year. Let's just say that.
Yep. Okay, let me summarize real quick because we're having some technical fights. We have Oakland at +100 on the money line. Straight up win, 10 pays 20. We have Tampa Bay. They are 3-point underdogs. We are also taking them on the money line at +140. $10 pays 24. And we have Detroit +4. We are taking them in the standard way. $10 pays $19.09.
Nice. I like those bets, buddy.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out the podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Our personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And that was week 1. We're back.
Hoo-day. Hoo-day.
Degenerate fucking gambler.